Hey, what's up YouTube? It's John Muro back again with another video. I hope that everyone is having the best day ever. No, serious, I really hope you are. You know how we like to do it on this channel. Today, we're gonna dive into this confrontation between Biden and Putin. Then at the end, we're gonna be talking about the shootings, the riots, and the protests going on in Minnesota. So stay tuned for that. Mr. President Joe Biden called on the Russian President Putin on Tuesday to de-escalate tensions following a Russian military buildup on the Ukraine's border. Now wait a minute. Putin, you can't be doing that. Brussels NATO called for Russia to end a military buildup on its borders with Ukraine that has sparked concerns of a major escalation in conflict between the two countries. I mean, this stuff has been going on since 2014. The Secretary General of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, wow, say that 5 times, said Russia should withdraw tens of thousands of troops it has massed around Ukraine in recent weeks. Russia's considerable military buildup is unjustified, unexplained, and deeply concerning. Mr. Stoltenberg explained that Russia must end this military buildup in and around Ukraine, stop all these provocations, and de-escalate immediately, like right now. Mr. President Joe Biden jumped in and told Putin that, hey, the U.S. will act firmly in defense of its national interests regarding the Russian cyber intrusions and election interference with Mr. President Trump. According to the White House, Biden proposed a summit meeting in the third country in the upcoming months to discuss the full range of U.S.-Russia issues. So in other words, they're going to gather together to sort all this nonsense out. President Biden emphasized that the United States is unwavering and committed to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The White House added that Biden made it clear that Russia must de-escalate tensions. Obviously, more than 14,000 people have died in fighting in the eastern Ukraine, and all the efforts to negotiate a political settlement have been stalled. There have been daily reports of Ukrainian military casualties and rebels that have been losing their lives. Ukraine has said Russia has massed 41,000 troops at its border with eastern Ukraine and 42,000 more in Crimea. Ukraine has said that Russia has massed 41,000 troops at its borders with eastern Ukraine and 42,000 more in Crimea. Russia's defense minister said Tuesday that the buildup was part of readiness drills in response to what he described as threats from NATO, and he said that maneuvers in the western Russia would last for at least 2 more weeks. So pretty much he said, we're not going anywhere. Putin told Biden about approaches to a political settlement based on 2015 peace deal brokered by France and Germany. The two also discussed arms control, the Iranian nuclear program, the situation in Afghanistan, and climate change. Earlier Tuesday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who was in Brussels for a meeting with NATO allies, accused Russia of taking very provocative actions with the amassing of troops. I mean, they're going a little overboard, right? NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg also called Russian movements unjustified, unexplained, and deeply concerning. The Ukrainian foreign minister urged Western countries to make it clear to Moscow that it would pay a price for its aggressions. Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but fire with fire makes a bigger fire, right? You don't add fuel to the fire, but that's their deal. The Biden-Putin relationship has been rocky even in the new U.S. administration that's happened. Although Biden agreed to extend a major arms control deal with Russia, he has been notably cool toward Moscow and highly critical of many of its activities. Last month, in an interview with ABC News, Biden agreed with the description of Putin as a killer and has criticized the jailing of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny. U.S. intelligence released a report last month finding that Putin authorized influence operations to help former President Donald Trump's re-election bid. So pretty much Putin and Donald Trump were together on this. That's crazy. But now, what does Putin have to say about all this? His response to Biden's killer comment recalled his ambassador to the U.S. and pointed at the U.S. history of slavery and slaughtering of Native Americans and the atomic bombing of Japan in World War II. This back and forth underscored Biden's desire to distance himself from the perception that Trump was soft on Putin despite actions his administration took against Russia. In his first call with Putin as president in late January, Biden raised concerns about the arrest of Navalny, Russia's alleged involvement in a vast cyber espionage campaign, and reports of Russian bounties on American troops in Afghanistan. The Kremlin, meanwhile, focused on Putin's response to Biden's proposal to extend the last remaining U.S.-Russia arms control treaty. The day after the call, Biden said in a speech before the State Department officials that the days of the U.S. rolling over to Putin were over. Finito. Not gonna happen again. Biden said, "We will not hesitate to raise the cost on Russia and defend our vital interests on our people." My thing is, hopefully they'll get things resolved. I mean, we don't need another war on our hands, right? Who's with me? So now, let's talk about things that are going on in the city of Minnesota. Here's the most up-to-date news on what's happening there. So cop Kim Potter resigns after fatally shooting Daunte Wright, and guess what? The police chief also quits. It's not an easy thing to be in this situation on either side. What's going on isn't just a small matter, but it's making headline news. Here are some of the key points concerning the shootings of Daunte Wright. Minnesota police officer Kim Potter resigned 2 days after fatally shooting Daunte Wright, an unarmed black man who was fleeing a traffic stop. Brooklyn Center Police Chief Tim Gannon also resigned Tuesday, a day after revealing that Potter likely shot Wright in the mistaken belief that she was holding a taser and not her pistol. Vice President Kamala Harris said Wright should be alive today. As demands grew for police reform on the heels of the latest killing by Minnesota police, ex-President Barack Obama argued Wright's death underscores the need to reimagine policing in the United States. Wright was killed about 14 miles away from where George Floyd died in Minneapolis last year at the hands of a city cop, Derek Chauvin, whose murder trial is still ongoing. Can I ask the question of what's going on? I want to ask you, the viewer, to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Now, in saying that, please keep it G-rated. Now, for those who have seen the video, yeah, it shouldn't have happened. I mean, I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and this situation should not have escalated to where it was. And yes, I understand people protesting, and yes, I get that. But what is all this robbing and breaking into these stores have to do with protesting? What does robbery and protesting have to do together? Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Potter, who served 26 years on the Brooklyn Center Police Force, said that she loved being a cop, but was quitting because she believed that it was in the best interest of the community, the department, and her fellow officers if she resigned immediately. This immediate resignation came when Vice President Kamala Harris stated that Wright should be alive, and hey, why shouldn't it? I believe that he should be alive. I think that there's going to have to be a different approach on how to take action when someone resists, or there's a struggle, or there's a flee. Mr. President Biden said that it's really a tragic thing that happened, and yes, it is. I mean, no one wants to lose their life, especially at the hands of police officers. But I think we got to wait and see what the investigation actually shows. I mean, the entire investigation. You've all watched it, I assume, and let me tell you something. It's fairly graphic, but the question is, was this an accident or was this intentional? That remains to be determined by a full-blown investigation. Biden added, "I want to make it clear again. There is absolute no justification, not none, for looting, no justification for violence. Peaceful protest is understandable, and that's the fact. I mean, you know, when there's anger, there's pain and trauma that exists in the environment, you know, it can cause things to happen and escalate extremely fast. But it will not justify violence or looting. With all this thing going on and the level of frustration and the pain that has been causes things like this to happen, to outbreak. I mean, wow, this is a whole lot to intake, especially since this is happening in our country. This affects so many people in so many different ways. No matter which side you're on, if you're on the police side, if you're on Daunte Wright's side, I mean, truly, this isn't over. I mean, justice will be served. It's only a matter of when. So after watching the video for myself several times, like I stated before, there were so many things that could have happened differently. You know, I really don't understand how these things keep happening. Surely enough, after the things that happened last year and with George Floyd and all these other outbreaks and these police arrests and people getting shot, why have they not come up with a better way to handle a situation, regardless of it's running a street light, tags, whether it's resisting arrest? There has to be a better way. You know, my thought is, how does this thing keep happening? We already been here, we've done that, we've bought the t-shirt. How can we eliminate people losing their lives when they're getting stopped by cops? I mean, come on, guys. They've got to figure something out. We've got to figure something out how to handle a situation once it escalates. If there's things going on, you know, things happen, how can we handle that without somebody losing their life? I want to thank you guys so much for watching through this long video. I mean, I normally don't carry them out this long, but I really wanted to go in depth about the shootings in Minnesota. I mean, that's a big ordeal, and I want to know what you guys think about it in the comments below. I also want to know what you guys want to watch. I mean, you guys are the viewers, so I want to bring something to you guys. And also, I want to know, should I make a giveaway on reaching 300 subscribers? I mean, I truly believe that we can make that happen. So let me know, should I make another giveaway to reach 300 subscribers? Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Until next time, I'm John Muro. Peace.